Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple Inc., died on October 5th, 2011. When he passed away, he left behind a legendary tech empire. He is credited with being the pioneer of the microcomputer revolution that took place in the 70s and 80s. Our world would be a very different place if he had never been born, and it would also be a very different place if he were still alive today. Today, Life's Biggest Questions asks, what if Steve Jobs were alive today? Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions. I'm your host, Charlotte Dobre. Smash those like and subscribe buttons along with the notification bell. Before I get into this video, tell us in the comments below what kind of phone you have. And don't forget to get into heated arguments about which one is better. Like you needed a reminder, am I right? One thing that would undoubtedly be different if Steve Jobs were still alive is the size of iPhones. Steve Jobs believed he had figured out the perfect length for iPhones, 3.5 inches. The whole point of the 3.5 inches is that it fits perfectly in your hand. Your thumb can reach the other side of the screen. But have you ever tried to hold an iPhone 6, 7, or 8 Plus in your hand? It's huge! At 6 inches in length, you can barely type with one hand. I've got a 7 Plus, and I definitely miss the good old days where you only needed your thumb to be able to text. If Steve Jobs were still alive, he would have kept the iPhone at the length of 3.5 inches and instead found ways to make it more compact. Maybe we'd have an iPhone that was the thickness of a credit card. And by the way, Steve Jobs would have hated the iPhone 5C. That iPhone was a failure for a reason. First of all, he would not have been down for the colors, the plastic, any of it. There is no way Steve Jobs would have let the 5C exist. Steve Jobs was famous for his risk-taking. He once said, "I've always been attracted to revolutionary changes." I mean, think about the iPod. It was an MP3 player with a circular click wheel. How does he even think of that? Jobs pioneered the idea of a tablet, the iPad. Music platforms are modeled off of iTunes. Since Tim Cook took over Apple, he hasn't really taken that many risks. I mean, yeah, we have the Apple Watch, which is a pretty good product. It doesn't sell very well, but it's a good product. But some of the products that Apple has released in the last few years are such an eye roll, like AirPods. Don't get me wrong, the fact that there's no annoying cord is amazing, but the fact that you have to charge AirPods by putting them in a case and then also charge the case, yeah, Steve would have hated that, and he would have found a way around it. And don't even get me started on the no headphone jack thing. If Steve Jobs were alive today, Apple would have so many revolutionary, unique products. Jobs was not the inventor of Apple products, but he was the visionary, and he would have envisioned a remarkable, futuristic world. It's honestly so difficult to imagine what Steve Jobs would have envisioned because he envisioned things that you didn't even know you wanted or needed, things that would make our lives so much easier. Think about it. Eyeglasses. I mean, yeah, Google did it first, but maybe Cook would have beat them to it and made them better. Instead of glasses, microcomputer contact lenses, which are being developed by other companies as we speak. You could be driving to work and in the right-hand corner of your eye, your daily agenda is displayed. You could take pictures with the blink of an eye with stunning quality. Do you sometimes feel like people choose technology like they choose a religion? You're either an Apple guy or a Microsoft guy. You're either an iPhone user or a Samsung user. I know there are other phone brands, but you get what I mean. People are very passionate about which tech company they support, especially when it comes down to something as vital as a smartphone. If Steve Jobs were still around today, the feud between Apple, Microsoft, and Google would be even more heated than it currently is, if you can picture that. Jobs hated Microsoft and Google, and that was no secret. Steve Jobs once threatened to go, quote, thermonuclear on Apple's smartphone rival Google. Die-hard Apple fans would likely follow his example. Since Tim Cook took over Apple, he's made the company play nice with its competitors. Apple settled patent lawsuits with Google with minimal damage. It's likely Steve Jobs might not have gone about that feud the same way. He hated the fact that people copied his ideas, and there would have been a lot of long, bloody legal battles over them. Tim Cook and the rest of the team at Apple haven't exactly run Jobs' company into the ground. Apple is still one of the most profitable tech companies on the planet, but the products we have available would definitely look different. Who knows, maybe our entire world would look different. For now, I'm Charlotte Dobre, and you've been watching Life's Biggest Questions. If you want to keep watching, make sure you check out our playlist, Biggest What Ifs, clickable on the screen right now. And if you want to catch up with me, my Instagram handle is posted in the description of this video. As always, make sure notifications are turned on by clicking that bell, and we will see you in a future episode of Life's Biggest Questions.